What's going on?
Coach Mateos himself is in the building, everybody.
Mateos!
You can give up yards, can't give up points, and that's exactly what Fayetteville did.
I would like to see Greenwood Park beat.
16 parlay. Minus 16, I'll take Oregon all day.
Got the mouth on the Zoom today, baby. Back in not in studio, but we got him back. Glad to have you back, Mouth. What have you been up to, buddy?
And the mouth has just been everywhere.
He has. I mean, you've been on the sun.
Been everywhere. I mean, I'm just glad to be with my brothers on the Zoom call today.
Exactly. Back in action. I mean, it's like you're coming off from, been injured reserved or something. I mean,
coming off two big Cowboys victories since the last time I was on.
Yes, sir. Sure, we're hot. Boy, I tell you what, man, we got a huge show, all kinds of things going out. Even last week with Tyler Wilson on here and talking about the big hire of Coach Bobby Petrino. We've got two special guests coming on later on today. Tell our people who our guests are.
Well, with the announcement of Coach Mateos and his return to Fayetteville, we reached out. We'll have Dan Skipper and Sebastian Tretola come on the show, talk about Coach Mateos, which I'm freaking pumped. I'm excited about it.
Yeah, he's a good one. You know him well, worked with him, played with him a little bit. I mean, played for him a little bit, but that's going to be outstanding. Dan Skipper, still roaming around.
He's still kicking some butt.
He sure is.
Detroit Lion.
Yeah, still
a big old Lion, too, let me tell you.
Yes, and they've been rolling. Me and Mouth might get to see them on the 30th down in Dallas, hopefully so.
Yes, sir.
Hopefully so. Yeah. Well, and we also got other guests on here. I mean, it's a big guest. We're going to bring on Brian Glass, head coach of Prescott Curly Wolves, playing for 3A state championship. Also, Coach Daryl Fimple, come on to get our high school picks on. And then, of course, Mr. Triple Crown. And so, man, I tell you what a great show. What a great show we had last week. Boy, the views and everything. It was really popping big time last week.
We're going places.
No doubt. Well, Brent, you've been gone. The Mouth, you've been gone a little bit here or there. Heard you on the radio a little bit. Let's get a quick thing on your thoughts about the hire of Bobby Petrino and our new offensive line coach Mateos.
I think Coach Pittman hit a home run on both accounts, my personal opinion. I told the people on the radio starting last Monday, the Mouth has a new lease on life now.
Oh, he's back.
The Mouth was feeling very, very low until last Tuesday when word started to break out that Bobby Petrino was on his way. And that gives us hope. I can't wait to repurchase my tickets for next year now. There was doubts on whether I was going to season ticket up.
Oh my God, you wouldn't do that. Don't even start that.
But I said the Mouth's we got Coach Petrino, we got Coach Mateos, we got to roll with it, baby. We got hope.
No doubt. All right, Bray, go ahead. Who's our BSN guest? First guest.
Let's welcome our BSN guests. We have Dan Skipper and Sebastian Tretola. Guys, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks, Coach. Always a good time. Best day of my life.
Best day. The Badamo is today, my friend. The Badamo is with Eric Mateos back in Arkansas. So obviously, with our history together and with all of us playing for him, I was excited about it. I know y'all are too. But what are your thoughts? Why is he the right guy for this job here at Arkansas?
Sure. Yeah. Obviously, knowing Mateos when he was young, we've kept in contact through it. I think the thing that stands out is how much he cares about his guys, and he can relate to everyone. I've come across guys from all of his stops in the league, and every one of those cats is like, I love that dude. And that means so much. Especially at the college level. And it speaks volumes to the fact that he's had pro guys at every stop. He can truly, I think he can recruit and develop linemen. And I think that as a coach, more than scheme or anything else, that speaks volumes as, talking specifically as an O-line coach.
Yeah. And, right. Kind of the same thing on this end. I mean, we know Mateos, we played with them. We got to sit in the room with them and really, really got lucky to come across a guy that gelled with Pitt so well, right? We got blessed with Pitt, one of the best, if not the best, O-line coaches in the nation. And then for Teos to come in under him and really kind of follow that track, right? Kind of be right there with them and as far as coaching techniques, coaching style, things like that. And just a cool dude, a guy you feel like you can sit down, grab a beer with, have a conversation with, and I've tracked him since he left Arkansas. I think LSU, Texas State, BYU, Baylor, we've kept in touch and seeing it kind of come full circle and really the fellas, right? Pitt at the helm and Mateos handling the big guys. I'm excited. I'm excited to see what 2024 is going to bring us.
Sure. I mean, you look at, like you said, the stops that he had after Arkansas. And today, I don't know if you saw, he made the comment that it was almost like everything that he did since he left here was to try and get back to Arkansas. And so for me, it just feels right to see him in red out there. And I'm excited for him. But Coach Williams?
Yeah, I got to ask you two guys. Y'all both pretty aggressive guys when you played and still are. And I love every bit. I'm an old O-line coach and the old offensive lineman myself. What will he bring to the table? Because I look at you guys as aggressive guys. And watching our O-line this past year, wasn't as physical. You guys watched it. How does he bring out that aggressiveness and the physicality that you two guys, all three of you, played with or worked with him? How does he bring that out in you guys?
I think the first part of playing fast and aggressive and physical is you have to know where you're going, what you're doing. You have to be locked in on your assignment. There were times this year that it didn't quite look like everyone was on the same page. And, I think that when you're thinking, you're not playing physical, playing fast, doing all those things. So getting guys on the same page, having, the ability to just get out there and go play fast and go play hard, that is kind of the separator in my eyes. Know where you're going, know how to get there. Everyone's going to the same spot. Now let's go play physical, and you can worry about that after. But if you're constantly sitting there trying to figure out who do I have, you can't do it.
Right. And just right along with that, just kind of having a baseline, right? We know, the three of us know, freaky deakies. You want some freaks in the room. You want guys that are embarrassed to lose, more so than technique, really being really good at technique or really in the playbook. You want a guy that said, I'm not going to go out here and I'm not going to get, my butt whipped. Like, that's not going to happen. I don't care what I have to do. Lord knows I love him, but Skippy will, we know Skippy will, a little tug, a little trip. You're going to know Dan Skipper is out there, right? Same thing with Coach. Coach had his moments. I had my moments. And I think that's, that's what made Pitt, right, who he is, and Mateos being a disciple of Pitt. It's once again, we said already, we'll say it probably a million times, it's full circle. It makes sense, and putting those things together on top of being your playbook, knowing what's going on, backer, right, Mike backers, defensive line shifts, tendencies, things like that. I think it's going to make for some very, very impressive.
Well, yeah, you're absolutely right, Sebastian. But if you can see who just joined the old podcast, Coach Mateos himself is in the building, everybody.
There he is.
Yes.
Mateos.
What up, boys?
That's a live shirt you got on. So you're in Fayetteville.
Listen, I'm in here. Up here in the staff meeting, it says Skip was here. On the top, on the roof. It's been there for 10 years. I checked. That was the first thing I checked when I got here, was to make sure that was still up there.
It's going to stay there. I don't think anybody can take that down for sure. Well,
yeah.
Coach, congratulations.
Thanks, dude. Appreciate you, man. Sorry I didn't get back to you. I've only gotten 478,000 text messages.
No doubt.
But you caught me at the right time. I just got done watching transfers for about 12 hours, and I just closed my notebook and I saw your text and I clicked your link. So good call. You got me.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, thanks for coming on, Coach.
What up? Yeah.
How did this all transpire? I mean, you get the phone call, and I'd imagine it happened pretty quick.
Yeah. I mean, when there was it was kind of crazy because there was some change going on at Baylor. Our offensive coordinator was let go, and there was a little bit of like, am I going to be here or not? And then, Baylor, obviously, they decided they wanted me to be there. And then at the same time, though, Coach Pitt called me and said, hey, you interested in doing this? And I mean, it took me like, 5 milliseconds to say yes. So, but yeah, it's happened fast. And that's how it happens always nowadays, especially with the recruiting opening up and us needing to get on the road. We need to get it done fast too.
Sure. Is that priority number one? I mean, are you on the road or kind of what does that look like?
I watch guys all day today. I'm going to get on a 6:45 flight tomorrow morning. So
jump right into it.
Yep, right into it, man. Right into it.
Yep. And Coach, this is Coach Jeff Williams. I don't know if y'all met.
What's up, Jeff?
All right, Coach. How you doing, man? Long time no see. Met you a long time ago. I'm old and you forgot, and don't worry about it. It's been everything. Well, let me ask you this, Coach, and then I'm going to kind of go with Skip and Sebastian, too. The hire of Bobby Petrino, which you hadn't worked with Coach Petrino in that part of, was that excitement and what you want to bring? Plus, working with Coach Pittman, you've worked with him and
right.
His background. What's your thoughts? And you got to get players right now, but getting with him and getting in the lab.
Well, I think the coolest thing in my mind about Coach Petrino is you could put on some tape from 2010 and 2011. And you're going to see a style of offense with some play actions, a little bit of run and shoot, a little bit of West Coast style, running the football from under center. You can see that on the tape, and you're like, oh, okay, this is Coach Petrino's offense. Well, then I remember, you fast forward 5 years, 6 years, and you're watching his offense with Lamar Jackson, and it's 2 tight ends off the ball, split zone read crack, split zone, fake read, slice, all these ways to utilize Lamar Jackson's skill set. And to me, that's the sign of a great coach that's going to adjust their offense to their players. And I think anytime you're an offensive coach, it's your job to make sure that you do what your players do best. And just that alone gets me excited because I know, Coach can coach anything, and we can run any scheme or any system we need to run here to win games, and we're going to base it off of our guys, and just the fact that you have a guy who's done that and been in 2 different worlds. I mean, it's exciting when you're a line coach. I mean, there's nothing worse when you're a line coach and your coordinator wants to do this, this, and this, and it's like, I don't know if we can do that, But so having a guy like that fires me up.
Well, great. Skip, what was your thoughts?
I think it's great. I obviously never played with him, never met him, but hearing the fan reaction, obviously that was when Arkansas was rolling. So anytime you can get people like that who care about the state, want to do well, care about winning, and that's huge. Winning, keep the main thing, and that's winning games. So that's excited to see, and obviously, the type of offensive schemes, how multiple they are. I think that's exciting that you're not pigeonholed like Coach Mateos said.
Exactly. Sebastian, what was your thoughts when you first heard it?
Yeah, I mean, kind of same thing as Skip. I didn't have the chance to play with them, but obviously, coming in, the older guys, you hear stories, right? You hear the evil scientist, right? The mad genius, the guy that will just carve up any defense in the world, and he can do it at will, And then, I'm a California kid, born and raised, right? I obviously heard of Darren McFadden, but outside of that, I didn't hear about Arkansas until Bobby Petrino and Ryan Mallett, right? And that's my first time hearing about it and really kind of seeing the school and the successes that they had, and I think we know what we got. We know what we got. He's really, really good, right? And I understand there's a little bit of hoopla and mess about, but redemption is a thing. If redemption stories weren't a thing, Arkansas would have never heard of Sebastian Tretola. I made my mistakes, and I had to go junior college, and I ended up changing things around, and had a hell of a career there. So, you take that and do with it what you may. But seeing what he's done, knowing who he is, and just the anticipation. I mean, it's exciting. It's I feel personally the most exciting Arkansas football has had in a long time.
Well, good deal. Well, Coach, I'm going to hit you this, and I'll turn it back over to Bray. It's opened up. The portal's opened up. Talk to our audience how chaotic that is, but keeping your own, and you just talked about sitting 12, 14 hours watching guys on film. What's your process looking at this week? You're jumping on a plane with this portal deal. Talk to us about what your role is right now in that situation.
I think that it's about exactly what you think it is. I mean, I think everything that people think it is, it's exactly that. And it's even more chaotic maybe because of the amount of information that is just constantly rolling over. I mean, minute after minute. And you need a great team. You need a great team of people to stay on top of it, to keep it organized, because if you don't, then you miss somebody or you miss something. And so, I mean, just in one day here is unbelievable. I mean, just the amount of people that have been helping me and helping getting things organized from that standpoint. So really impressed with the system we got set up here. And for me, it's just the challenge, I think, in the portal is making sure you get the right guys and you don't suffer from FOMO. And what I mean is like, hey, this guy's in the portal. We need to offer him a scholarship, and you don't do any background on him. You don't talk to his coaches. You don't talk to people that know him. You don't watch the film. You just, hey, this other school offered him, so we're going to offer him. You see that happen a lot with people. And, the goal for me would be to avoid that and not really care who's offered somebody. And we're going to find the right guys and the right mix of guys. And to me, and all three of these guys know, the best O-lines aren't always the most talented. A lot of times the best O-lines are the ones that play the best together and have the best chemistry. And so that goes into it too. And that's a whole nother part of the equation that becomes a huge challenge for me. And it's a challenge I'm certainly excited about, but it's going to be a lot of work to make sure we get the right mix of guys.
Good deal.
Yeah, and you're absolutely right. You look back at our years playing together, and the camaraderie I think that we had as an O-line room, I think was powerful, and that's why you saw some success. Obviously, having the biggest O-line in college and NFL football also helps, but that does a trick. But thanks, guys, for coming on. Obviously, Coach, congratulations to you. Welcome back to Fayetteville.
Heck yeah.
Yes.
Hey, I'm already working on a new fake field goal.
There we
go. That's
what I'm talking about, buddy.
That's
The
what I'm
leaks,
talking
the
about.
bio leaks. Yes.
You got to bring it back, man.
I love it. I love it.
The greatest quarterback to ever come out of San Bernardino.
Talk about it. Talk about it. Come on, because somebody has to talk about it.
Appreciate you guys.
Yeah.
Love you guys. I'll see you.
Love you. See you,
All
Coach.
right, guys. No, you too.
Man, what insights, man. I tell you what, just unbelievable. I mean, the insights with what we got to do offensive line to get that change. It was great to hear from him.
Yeah, Mateos is the guy to do it. Like you said, Mateos' track record and what he's done and his love, I think, for this state and this program. And obviously his former players are excited, so full speed ahead.
That's an area, and Brent, but you've hit on it a little bit. That's an area I really think if we can get the O-line fixed, man,
be all right.
We still got people portaling in and out. We won't know till later on. Brent, real briefly, what where are you going to think coach is going to bring to their offensive line?
I think he's going to bring a physicality like they had when Coach Cook was playing for the on the Razorback offensive line under Coach Mateos and Coach Pittman. I believe we're going to be physical, baby.
We're back getting physical. I like it. Well, let's go ahead and do this. It's time for a high school. Let's go ahead. We're going to bring in our another BSN guest, Bobby Swafford, is doing the play-by-play this Saturday for our state championship games. What a great weekend last weekend. I mean, the Fayetteville, Bentonville, we'll recap a little bit. Then, of course, Parkview just keeps rolling. And then the boys down at Bigelow getting down and dirty like we thought they would against EPC. Let's recap last week. Some big crowds, and let's get into our two-way. What did you see with the two-way game with Bigelow and EPC?
Yeah, really, the two-way championship was won at the line of scrimmage, Coach. I mean, it's a line of scrimmage game. Really, no matter what classification you play. I thought EPC was going to have the best player on the field with Dennis Gaines, but the play up front negated that. They didn't let the running back for the Warriors break loose. Bigelow and their big guys up front did a nice job of shutting up the running lanes and really not allowing the UCA commit to break free and really do much damage whatsoever. Bigelow struck early, and they had a huge crowd. There wasn't anybody left in the town of Bigelow. So if you were a thief and you wanted to rob something, you could have had a field day in the town of Bigelow Friday at noon. But their entire crowd was there. It was about 4,500 people. We were thinking about just on their sideline alone. It was really an impressive crowd, and Bigelow fed off of it. And once they got the lead, they weren't going to be stopped.
Well, they were amazing. Had what an amazing year. And then you get into the 6A game, Little Rock Christian, Greenwood. Greenwood they talked to Chris Young. He didn't feel like they played well, then they won. I thought they played pretty good, but kind of getting Chris getting his first state championship as a head coach. Big rematch, and Greenwood just kept doing what Greenwood does.
Yeah, no, you're exactly right. I mean, I was really surprised that the lack of adjustments, I guess, from Little Rock Christian. I thought with just a three-man front from Greenwood's defense, they were dropping a spy. I thought they really probably should have tried to run the football a little bit more, maybe test that Greenwood defense. That's how teams have beaten Greenwood in the past. You play sound defense, but you run the football to limit their possessions because if you give Kane Archer and that offense too many opportunities, they're going to toast you. And Arrington, the wide receiver, was really impressive. He made a couple of moves that were just second to none. I mean, some of the best juke moves and a spin move that you're ever going to see. And then Kane Archer was the better quarterback on the field. There wasn't even close debate, to be quite honest. The way the sophomore played didn't look like a 15 or 16-year-old. Really impressive. Congrats to Coach Young, his first state championship. Greenwood deserved that title because they were clearly the better team.
I thought they were. I thought they were all year in that classification. Well, then we go Saturday afternoon. There we get the Fayetteville game, kind of sloppy at times, but you see that a lot of times in state championship games, especially how familiar those two were. Casey Dick goes and gets his first state championship, and runs undefeated, which has never been done as far as in the last century, at least at Fayetteville. Got to give those guys a lot of credit, and they were just perfect all year long.
Yeah, I mean, those two just went back and forth. And I mean, first you got to give a tip of the cap to Bentonville. They were up to the challenge.
Oh, yeah.
Carter Nye played outstanding. He's probably the best quarterback that nobody's ever heard of. I mean, really, really good football player. He could be a Saturday player if he wants to be. I don't know what his future plans are going to be. But he and CJ Brown were on the same page. The Arkansas committed receiver played really well. They kept Fayetteville off balance just enough with what they were doing defensively. But in the end, big Drake Lindsay and his arm kind of took over. They had, when they needed to drive most, they were able to put it together and put it in the end zone and took that lead in the fourth quarter. But I was probably more impressed than anything else, the Fayetteville defense in the red zone. They would bend inside the 20s, but once Bentonville was able to move the ball into the red zone, they would stiffen up, and some self-inflicted wounds from Bentonville, some penalties that backed them up. But Fayetteville turn up the pressure. They time up a blitz or two and knock Bentonville not only out of field goal range, but out of field position. Made them punch one time when they were inside the red zone. And you know more than anybody, Coach. If you play defense inside the 20s, you're going to be pretty successful. You can give up yards, can't give up points, and that's exactly what Fayetteville did.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, then you have the night. Here we are, the nightcap a little bit with the Parkview Patriots, Coach Daryl Fimple, who's ranked number 1. He's been on those guys all year long. Another perfect season, and just dominant, and had some style points there at the end a little bit also. But man, what an unbelievable run by Parkview, and you got to give Shaw a lot of credit. They went on the road just to get there, going to Valley View, going to Pine Bluff, and getting there. But at the end of the day, just like we all knew, beginning of the year, Parkview's best 5A team, no doubt, in the state of Arkansas.
Yeah, there's no question, and that game really was never close. I mean, the physicalness up front, just the physicality of what Parkview does offensively and defensively stands out. You thought that maybe Shiloh, if they're going to run the football, they can get Bo Williams going just a little bit, and maybe they can soften it up. They weren't having it. Obviously you can't turn the football over once against a team like Parkview, let alone 4 times in the first half. Just too much athleticism, too many missed tackles for Shiloh's defense. They'd get a hand on Eric McGee, the quarterback or the running back, but they couldn't get him on the ground, get way too many yards after contact. And once that started to snowball and go downhill, that game was over pretty quickly. The conversation can be had. Parkview did beat Bryant earlier this year. They're in the conversation. I'm not going to say they're the best team because obviously a 7A schedule is tougher from week 1 to week 10 than a 5A schedule is. But Parkview, Greenwood, and Fayetteville are all in the conversation to be crowned the best team in the state.
No doubt, no doubt. Well, let's get into this week's games. We got 2 games left for the regular season here. Let's start with our noon game. 2 powerhouse programs.
Mm-hmm.
Boonville Bearcats against the Prescott Curly Wolves. I mean, if you get to draw up tradition in high school football in Arkansas, it's like they're going to be in the top 5 conversations of any classifications. What do you see in this game?
You could have asked me on October 1st, August 1st, or December 1st, and I would have told you the last 2 teams playing are going to be Boonville and Prescott. I mean, that's how good these 2 teams have been all season long. You start with Boonville. I mean, obviously the power run game and Dax Goff, a 2,000-yard rusher, had some offers to some D1 schools. Going to go to Harding with that triple option attack. A lot of people think he's the best Boonville player ever, and for a program that's won 4 or 5 state championships and been to a couple others, that's saying something. And so that they're just going to be a ground and pound. They're a team that's built for November and December because they play defense. The whole town's going to show up. They're going to be behind them. And if you don't stop the fullback, if you run that triple option, if you don't stop the fullback, it's going to be a long day. I remember watching Boonville take on Osceola in a championship game. I think it was 2018. It's sleeting. It's raining. It's about 25 degrees. First play of the game, fullback trap up the middle for about 70 yards, and the game was over because they wanted no part of it. So you got to withstand those body blows that Boonville's going to keep giving you. And then Prescott, on the other hand, I mean, they've been ranked number 1 or 2 all season long. They've got to find a way to play sound defense and stop that run game. But they got to go to the edge as well. I mean, they got playmakers. They've got a really good quarterback, and so they're going to have to find ways to make some explosiveness. Boonville has shown it time and time again in the state championship game when they play the Warrens, they play the Osceolas. They're going to drop back and cover 4. They're going to make you throw it underneath and say, okay, can you do this 10, 12 times down the field because you're not going to beat us deep. And so Prescott's got to be patient. They can't force the football down the field because if they do, that's when they're going to get in trouble.
Well, that ought to be a great game at noon. I mean, what a way to start it off. Then the nightcap. Let's go. Well, Rivercrest Coast, man, over there riding the cold around town. They went over there and took care of the bowl this past week, and man, I watched a lot of that game. Just very, very impressed with Rivercrest. Saw them Mills and here or there. They're coming in hot against the Harding Academy team that has just been unscathed, buddy. And you've lined them up. I mean, Malvern took care of business. Drive up here to Elkins. What a great game with those guys. And Elkins, phenomenal. Took care of business. These 2 know each other. They played against each other down there in Warren Memorial Stadium. What do you see in this one?
Yeah, it's Rivercrest is you can call them a surprise team, but they've obviously been in the finals a bunch before. But you look at the playoff run that they've made, it's really impressive. You can talk about all the offenses you want in 4A, CAC, Elkins, Harding, Warren, Arkadelphia. They're not giving up points. I mean, you hold a Warren team last week to 14 points, 12 the week before to Arkadelphia. I mean, they're shutting people down in a day and age where it's usually the race to 40 to see who wins. They're playing defense, and that's the most important thing that jumps out to you with that Rivercrest team. But with Harding, I mean, you know what you're going to get. I mean, they're going to put pressure on all 3 levels of your defense with their passing game. They're not going to run it a ton, but they're going to shock you every now and then when they do it, especially the quarterback run game. And we've seen them go out and put 60 points in the state championship game. And, not many times can you say Harding's got a chip on their shoulder, but they do from last year. They took it on the chin for Malvern. And so they're going to have to bounce back and really think about, okay, we're going to finish this up. They know they're moving up to 5A next year. And so they're going to want to go out with style and get a win against a really, really good Rivercrest squad.
Yeah, Coach Neil Evans has done a great job at Harding Academy. They've just been rolling. They have for years. It's like they get the same guy. I mean, it's like they throw it 17 different times, and you know how that rolls, and they play hard. And Rivercrest has just been impressive. 4 decades, buddy. 4 decades, those guys, man. 4 decades, just killing people. I was roommates from there. He sent me a long video. I picked the Warren Lumberjacks last week and heard all about it. So you know how it goes. But
the coldest I've ever been in my entire life was in Wilson, Arkansas.
Oh yeah.
So back in my newspaper days, I think I'm going to sit in the press box. It's going to be cushy. Mansfield went out there. I think it was a 3rd round game. It might have been a week of Thanksgiving. I go out there. You know, I've got jeans and a shirt, but I got my jacket with me. Open air press box. I'm sitting there just shivering, trying to tighten my fingers. Can't get anything to work. And so then I roll into the field house with the swimming pool that's, still smells like chlorine. Oh, it was one of the longest nights of my life.
I've dressed in it by that swimming pool before, buddy. 1992, dressed in that thing.
Yeah. Wild.
Well, I see we're out buying cars.
Working on a car. I got to take care of the wife, so she doesn't trade me in for a newer model. I'm gonna trade her car in for a newer model.
Attaboy. Please, ahead of the game right there, man. All right, man. Well, hey, PBS at noon.
Arkansas PBS at noon and at 6:30, both of them live. If you live inside the state of Arkansas, you can watch it on the website for free as well. So you got to go out and run errands on Saturday. You can watch it on your phone too.
Awesome. Thanks for coming on, Bobby.
You got it, Coach.
Take care, man.
See ya.
A great job last week, man. Got 2 great games coming up. Boonville and Prescott, just 2 traditions. Rivercrest and Harding Academy, man. People at Rivercrest, they've been on the show, baby. They've been putting video out. Yep. They want and don't count those guys out by very much. Well, let's go ahead and bring our BSN guest this week, Coach Daryl Fimple, for our high school picks. Back again. The Mouse here with us. Hey, Mouse been gone. Mouse not. He's figured this Zoom thing out, doing a little out of the studio deal, but he's back. Everybody's happy to have the Mouth back. Guys, let's recap a little bit last week. Let's start in the semi. Well, let's hold off on those. Let's recap the state championship games, which I believe I hit every one of those. Every freaking one of them, man. I believe, what was that, 4-0, 5-0 there? Hey, yeah, I'll go with that. So let's get with the 2A. The boys, I told you they're going to get down dirty. The Bigelow. Break it down, Coach Fimple. What'd you see?
Around there. Look at Bigelow there. Hey, once again, it was a dad duo, coaching duo again. I love the newspaper. Can we get on board like a little early so we get some information out on these teams a little early? That's all I got to say. Because Bigelow is a great story. 32 years, their first state title in 32 years. The quarterback at Bigelow had won a state title on the basketball team because his dad's the basketball coach. And he was the starting third baseman on the runner-up baseball team.
So he did, buddy.
And he was MVP of the game. Yeah. I mean, so come on, Bigelow. Bigelow burned the candle, too. They went in that locker room and they burned the candle. They were ready to go.
They were ready to go, man.
They had a chip on their shoulder. They had a great game plan on Gaines. Like I said, he threw for 3 touchdowns, 32 years. The guy took over 0-10 from his dad. How was that discussion, man?
Hey, son, we're going to drop this 0-10 off for you. There you go.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Dad. Thanks for, giving me the job there, man. Really appreciate it. But, yeah, what a great job they did. The Gaines boy finishes at EPC with over 3,200 yards rushing, and he finished his career with 6,986 yards and 94 touchdowns.
Oh, my
God. So EPC is looking and seeing if there's any gains left in EPC.
Anybody, no doubt. Well, then we go. Here we go. We get to the nightcap, Friday night's game with Greenwood and Little Rock Christian. Greenwood just perfect. I mean, perfect all year. Overcame injuries, did everything. Chris Young and that crew. Chris Young's first state championship as a head coach. Amazing job by those guys. Break, what'd you see there just watching that one? Daryl?
Well, I tell you what is amazing about that one was, of course, Coach Young, wins one. Time of possession.
Yeah.
Greenwood had the ball for 30 minutes. 30 minutes. Little Rock Christian was trying everything they could. They only had the ball for 17 minutes and 55 seconds. Walter White was phenomenal. 25 of 49 for 355, 3 TDs, 3 interceptions though. And that's what we talked about earlier about Greenwood. They'll pick you. And they did. They had 3 interceptions on the night. Cash Archer had 6 tackles, 1.5 sacks. That guy's a man child. They did all kinds of illegal stuff trying to block that guy. Guy still made plays. They had 3 interceptions by 3 different people in the secondary. The Davis boy ran the ball for Greenwood for 29 carries for 156 yards. And then Kane Archer, the younger brother that's the quarterback that guaranteed they were going to win, he definitely came through. He pulled a little Joe Namath out of the old pocket and said, hey, we're coming back for this one, guys. So, yeah, he got a big win there in War Memorial for Greenwood. And like I said, if you look at the yards, Greenwood pounded it on the ground, 251 yards rushing. And like I said, kept the time of possession, kept Little Rock Christian off the field.
No doubt.
So that was a good game.
Oh, it was
Greenwood's
a good game.
really good.
Yeah, both teams.
I'd like to see Greenwood Parkview.
Yeah, let's set it up.
They always talk about the overall in basketball, bringing it back. Heck, let's do it in football. Let's line it up out there.
Let's see where we're at in life, baby.
Yes.
Let's see where we're at. Let's do it. Well, then let's go to Saturday. That 7A game, rematch Bentonville-Fayetteville. Fayetteville ends up winning, comes out. Casey Dick gets his first state championship as a Fayetteville head coach. Back and forth, man, those guys knew each other so well. I mean, it's unbelievable.
It was hard to disguise what we were trying to do.
Yes,
exactly. But then Fayetteville just said, the heck with it. We're just going to start throwing that sucker all over the place. And then bless Bentonville's heart. I mean, they've been so good in the red zone all year long, and they just get down there. I mean, one time it was like 4th and 49. I mean, they got pushed back so far. It was unbelievable. I've never seen anything like that. But, 2 great quarterbacks. I mean, the Nye boy threw for 329 yards. He had the 2 touchdowns. Lindsey was 27 of 38 for 355, 1 TD, and he threw 2 picks that kind of kept it close. Their defensive line, I think, at Fayetteville made a huge stands in the red zone. And I think that was the difference in that game. And like I said, they both, and that was the one game I missed was Bentonville. I thought that Bentonville would be able to pound them down there in the red zone, and I was completely wrong on that one.
Well, and I went with my experience on that pick right there, Coach Fimple, is usually if they beat me the first time, they beat me the second time. And if I beat them the first time, we beat them the second time. So I just went on experience on that one. They could have went either way. But Fayetteville's defense.
You're a playoff coach. You guys a playoff coach.
That's right. Exactly. Fayetteville's defense outstanding. The nightcap, Parkview, they just do what they do. I mean, we don't even need to get into it. I mean,
do what they do.
I mean, unbelievable plan with defensively. Golly, what a plan.
Oh, man, what a plan.
And offensively, they were outstanding.
Hey, he went over there and borrowed some guys.
Exactly.
And he went over there and got Settles, got 2 interceptions. See, Bobby's not scared.
Come on over, buddy. Come on over.
That guy over here just for a little while. 2 interceptions in the game. And the quarterback, we hadn't talked about Eric McGee because he kind of gets overlooked. He was MVP, 270 yards through the air, 4 touchdowns. They only ran 43 offensive plays.
That's all we need, man. That's all we need.
That's unbelievable. They ran 43 offensive plays and beat Shallow like
unbelievable.
That. So, that was amazing.
Well, let's get into this. Let's get into this for me, you in the mouth here, and get into our picks for the week. What's our top 5? I know there's people swarming around. It's been swarming. Do it.
I'm telling you right now. It's impressive. It's an impressive top 5 is what it is. It's impressive. Number 1, it's going to be Parkview. That's why I want the overall. I want the overall because I want to see Bigelow faces Fayetteville just to see what happens.
Yeah.
Just come to get a big charter bus and just bring them to War Memorial. I think that'd be awesome. But my big top 5 is Parkview's going to be my number 1 team in the state of Arkansas. Fayetteville's 2. You got to think both of those guys have combined for how many losses this year?
0.
0, baby. That's how you hit the top 2 right there, buddy. You finish with 0 at the end of your record. So I got Parkview, Fayetteville, Greenwood, who is also, how many games did they lose?
0.
0. Zero's the theme here. All right, and I'm going to stick with number 4, though, being Bentonville. I think Bentonville at the end of the year.
You got to give it to them, man.
Their medal there. That'd be another 4. Last week I went on the Prescott Curly Wolves, but you know who I'm going with this week? who also has a 0 by their name.
Hardy.
There's only one Bigelow. Undefeated Bigelow, man. Maybe straight perfect Bigelow.
So,
all right? That's why they're in my top 5. Those dudes are top 5 material right there.
Oh, God.
I love that story. 0-10 4 years ago, 4 conference championships. This guy just rolls in there with not one article. Not one article on our guys. All right, you better start writing some articles on Bigelow.
That's exactly right. What we doing,
man? Right there.
What we
the
doing?
New 5.
Well, let's get into it right here, guys. Both of you. Our noon game. We got Boonville, who just is taking care of business against the Prescott Curly Woods. Boonville took care of Glen Rose last week. Prescott took care of Mansfield. What 2 legendary programs right here? I mean. Oh, yes. Yeah. And before we get into this game, let's go ahead and bring on our BSN guest, Prescott Curly Wolf head coach, Coach Brian Glass. Hey, congratulations, man, to Curly Wolves back in there again, that state final, just where you're always at. And y'all just had, I think Coach Fimple put a stat like y'all won over 100 games in 10 years. I mean, that's an amazing. And you go back with Eddie Jackson, the pool guy, and you guys, I mean, y'all have all been there. All Curly Wolves always been together. Well, talk to me a little bit about this, Coach. Let's talk a little bit about last week and where you're at. You beat Mansfield last week to punch your ticket there. Where are we at with your team as far as progression? You still got to practice. You still got to get better this week. And where are we at injury-wise? And where's your football team at right now going into the state finals?
Coach, we're really pretty healthy for being this far into the season. Hadn't got any major injuries. We've been blessed on that end. Got some bangs and bruises, but some stuff that guys are going to be able to tough it out and be able to play this week. As far as progressing, man, our defensive line has been playing really good. Linebackers tackling well, and the secondary had a couple new guys back there this year, and they've just came on, and it's been a tremendous defensive unit all year. And then, of course, offensively, our offensive line was a little bit young early, but they're coming together now. We're able to run the ball a little more effectively. And, we've been throwing it around. We got some good skilled kids that can catch it, and they get some space, they can go. And we're playing pretty good football right now.
No doubt. One thing we do down there in Prescott, we do play defense, buddy. We played defense down there for 100 years. We're going to play defense for the next 100.
That's exactly right.
Let's get into this. Just 2 powerhouse programs. I mean, we're talking about, Prescott and then, Boonville, who's just been rolling all year long. And you know them, they know you. And, I know y'all both been up and down in different classifications at times. But this Boonville team, one thing about Boonville, they execute better than anybody you'll ever see. I mean, they just don't make a lot of mistakes. Talk to us a little bit what you have to do as a group to get the victory, and what do you see on film, on tape about Boonville?
Well, the defense is going to have their biggest challenge of the year. There's no doubt about it. You said it. They just don't make mistakes. They execute really well. When they do make a mistake, a lot of people kind of think they're 3 yards in a cloud of dust only, and they can get a motion penalty and go to 1st and 15 or 2nd and 10, and they can still go get a first down. They're explosive as well. And they're even throwing the ball around a little better. The passing game actually kind of broke the game open last week with Glen Rose. But, they do a great job. And you said it, traditional powerhouses, it just doesn't get much better than Prescott and Boonville when you talk about from the 70s to present and still the same type of success in the 2000s. Some were great back then and maybe fell off a little, but it's 2 programs that have really kept it going really well. We've got 5 state championships. They've got 4. And, it's just Arkansas football, high school football tradition. That's all you can say about it.
Well, it is. It's just big boy football. I mean, everybody in town plays it, and you just nailed it from the 70s, 80s, 90s, all the way now. I mean, when you think of, Arkansas football, those 2, Prescott and Boonville, they're going to be in the top 10 anybody's list.
That's right.
Well, Coach, tell me this. We got, you guys, you're healthy. You've been playing good. Going into Boonville, you talked about they don't make mistakes. What's a key matchup we need to look at? Might be an offensive, defensive lineman. There's always key matchups a lot of people can't see if they're watching the game. What do they need to zero in on?
We have got to continue to be great tacklers all night long for 4 quarters. They're going to hand the ball to Rylan Ray, and Dax Goff. They're 2 guys that are 220 pounders, and they run it tough. And we've got a challenge of wrapping them up and getting them to the ground over and over and over again. Some teams, the 3A teams, have not been able to do that for 4 quarters. That's what we've got to do.
Well, that's why they're playing in December, and that's why you're playing December.
That's right, Coach. Yep.
Well, Coach Glass, I appreciate you coming on. Good luck to you. Look forward to seeing you guys play on Saturday.
Appreciate it, Coach. Thank you.
See you, buddy.
All right.
All right. Coach Glass feels pretty good. They got a tackle. They've been doing a pretty good job as far as defensively, been scoring points. Mouth, break this one down for me a little bit. Who you got in this one? Prescott, Boonville.
It's gonna be a war out there at 12:00 Saturday afternoon. They're gonna get after it a little bit. But I am going with the Prescott Curly Wolves.
Mouth's going with Prescott. Grandma is going to go with Boonville. Coach Williams is going to go with Boonville. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. Going to be tough. The Wolves, both these teams know how to get there, and they both know how to win. And so it's going to be tough. Break it down. Break it down, Coach
your
Fimple.
combined record here is we're 24-3. Yeah, I think we got the right 2 teams in this one right here. There's no doubt about it. Beat Glen Rose last week. Boonville did. What a great name. Their coach is Doc Crowley. I always want a name like that. Like, I think a good coach always has something like Scooter. That's a great coach's name. Doc. Yeah. How about that? Hey, Coach Doc, what do we do on this play? I can only see something like that. Dax Golf.
Yes.
That's the name. Boonville's running back. 25 carries last week, 157 yards, 2 touchdowns. He's over 5,000 yards in his career. He's got 76 touchdowns on the ground alone. All records there at Boonville. His name is going to be etched. He might end up with a statue out there, in like a yard statue out there. The other one, Rylan Ray, he had 21 carries for 117 yards last week and a touchdown. They did throw it a little bit, hit the Mattis kid for a touchdown. He had 3 catches for 70 yards. But, man, they are the Pony Express of high school football.
Yes, sir.
Right here. You got 2 backs.
Yes, sir.
You got a big offensive line, and they're going to lean on them guys all night long. Prescott's defense has really, really played well all year long. They're tough up front. Genoa Harris is their running back. Outstanding player. I mean, his stats are out the gazoo, too. So both of these teams kind of mirror each other. I think Prescott might have a little bit better play at quarterback, and they kind of lean on him a little bit. Like I said, both of these games are tight, close, and you know what's going to happen. You know what's going to happen. Everybody's prepared for this. I mean, it's 7,000 followers last week. You cannot go against the Carlywoods, baby. The Carlywoods are coming. They're coming again. You know why? Because the Carlywoods always come. They're going to show up. They know which gate to go through, which dressing room to step in. They know how to tie their shoes and how to get ready. They're going to be ready for Boonville in this one. I'm going to take Prescott.
Coach.
It might even come down to like a tape measure. We might even have to measure there at the goal line. This might be a tape measure game right here. But the Curlywoods are going to come on. They're going to figure out how to find them extra inches right here. Extra inches to win.
Oh, man, what a game. What game that's going to be. Oh, let's get to our next one.
Doc Crowley.
Doc's a good boy. He's a good one. All right. Our 6:30 game. Now, me and you took a little grief on this. Let's start with the first one. Let's go with, we got Harding Academy, who came up to Elkins. Hey, Harding Academy's beat Malvern and Elkins back-to-back weeks. Harding Academy is rolling. I don't know if they can be stopped. And then the other one's kind of a little surprised by some people, not some others. Took a little heat from this. Took a little heat. Me and Coach Fimple, we got people calling and sending us videos over this. The Rivercrest Colts take down Uncle Bo and the Warren Lumberjacks last week. These 2 teams are very familiar. They played for state championships, maybe in both classifications. I think they were 3-8 one time, played against each other. All right.
Yeah.
Here's what we got going on. Mouth, I don't probably need to ask you, but I'll let you get into this with your Harding Academy. What are you saying here, buddy?
Well, before I get going on that, I asked my sister at Elkins last Friday night. I said, when when you entered the stadium, did you see a statue of Sean Rochelle, the great UAM quarterback and Elkins Elk? And just so you want to know a little history, last spring, Harding Academy and Rivercrest met for the 4A state baseball championship, which was won by Harding Academy. So I see nothing happening different this week. Coach Evans just knows, his team just knows one thing. That's how to win, baby. How to win. I'm going with Harding Academy.
Mouse going with Harding Academy. Grandma Nah, she loves God's country. She's going to go with the Rivercrest Colts. Coach Williams is going to go with Harding Academy. They just haven't been stopped, man. I mean, it's just kind of, it's one of the, and guess what? Congratulations. We're going to give you a trophy and bump you up to 5A next year.
There you go.
There you go. That's the way it works.
That's what you get.
Yeah.
You private schools, you need to learn when to lose.
That's right.
Somewhere along the
way. You got to plan it out, right?
Exactly.
Break it down.
Fifth year in the finals. Fifth year.
Yeah.
That Harding Academy has made the finals. They beat our Elkins Elks last week. Wow. 41-27. They had over 500 yards of total offense. They've came out and said, hey, we were upset about how last year went and Malvern beating us, and they've been on a mission ever since. I think they even are watching this show going, I hope they pick against us because I think we might have fuel to the fire down there in Harding Academy in Searcy. But Owen Miller, the quarterback's phenomenal player. Wyatt Simmons, the linebacker that's, going to go to Arkansas, hopefully. We can hold on to that guy, just make plays. But, man, their defensive scheme last week, they get a lead and they start rushing 3 and dropping 8. Yeah. And we weren't used to that in Elkins land. So it became a great coaching job, I thought, by Harding Academy last week. Of course, you're always going to have those when you get in the finals. In Rivercrest, our Colts.
Yes, sir.
Our Colts, our people down there.
Our people have been speaking.
Hey, let me tell you, the people aren't scared. The people are not scared of Harding Academy. I even heard today that, hey, we're going to play them in basketball and we're going to play them in baseball and we're going to try to beat them in everything we can. So the Colts are not scared. They got a little tradition of themselves. I just don't know if Cortez Kennedy's going to show up this week. I don't know if Cortez is in the building. I mean, he's the second famous person at Rivercrest. Pauline Love's probably the most famous person at Rivercrest, assistant in Arkansas. But the Colts, Kobe Turner, 5'8", 160 pounds. We like to call him Kobe Dynamite Turner. Small packages, baby. He's blown up buildings. He had 29 carries last week, 268 yards and 2 touchdowns. We're not scared to give it to Kobe in his size. Cavante Washington's the quarterback at Rivercrest. Rushed it 16 times for 50 yards. Threw 5 passes just to keep people out of the box, maybe just to scare them a little bit. Marcus Slayton came in and give Turner a break with 7 carries for 48 yards, 1 touchdown. And here's the thing about Rivercrest. And Harding Academy takes advantage of this. If you get caught in 4th down and you go for it, all right, Harding Academy can stop you. All right, that's a big play. So if you ever turn it over, it's even worse.
Yeah.
What can happen? So I'm thinking Rivercrest can pound this thing a little bit. All right. I think we can pound it. All right. My people over there, I need you to understand. This is what I'm thinking the plan is. These Colts, all right?
Get the plan, man. We got a plan.
Yeah, we got to go. And you know what? RC's going to be there, baby. We're showing up. We're showing up to War Memorial. We're bringing it on. We're bringing tradition and everything with us. All right, we ain't got nothing to lose. All right, this starts right now. We got to get after Harding Academy on both ends. We got to bring everybody we've got. All right, we've got to get after. We got to hold on to the football. And we got to move the chains. All right, we got to light the candles at both ends on this one. All right, RC's coming. All right, and we ain't bringing no moon pies with us. All right, we're coming right there. We're coming right with it, right here. You get that? You get that mouth? We're coming for you right there. RC, man, tradition's coming. This is what we've got.
I got it. I
might look like a genius. I might look like a genius, and this hat is really big. It's a big hat.
Good stuff right there. I tell you what, and Rivercrest will come ready to play, man. I mean,
hey, I heard they might leave Wednesday.
Are they gonna?
I heard they might just leave Wednesday and go down there and stay a couple of days.
Well, are they gonna get the box truck with the cold in it? That's the question.
Oh yeah, the box.
Do you think the AAA will let them ride the cold around the stadium?
I hope they get coat rides at halftime. Yeah. That's just what I'm hoping. Just feed the coat.
Well, you know what we could do, Coach Fimple? We could go down there and start charging people to ride the colt around Warmore Stadium.
If we would make money.
We can make some money off.
I'm sure everybody in Rivercrest is going to be there.
Oh, there's no doubt. There's no doubt.
And everything.
You know,
yeah.
Kaiser, all those places, man. They'll be over there, man. It's going to be unbelievable. It'll be great, great game. Well, Coach Fimple, it's been a good run. I know we got a special episode later on. Going to have to hand out some awards and see how this goes.
Yeah, baby.
Got some special
Working
awards.
on them.
Well, I appreciate you coming on, man. We'll see you, probably next couple of weeks. How's your team doing? How we playing?
Playing pretty good. Went 8-0, off to a good start.
Well, that's what we do. It's early, though. Playoffs.
Yep.
Just waiting for the tournament.
Hey. Guess what? We're giving up 38.6 points a game, baby.
You know why?
You know why?
Because we play defense. All right, man. See you later, buddy. See ya. Man, it's hard to believe, in its right mouth. We've been all season long with just 2 games left. I mean, it's unbelievable how fast this is going. Coach Fimple is loving his coats and loving his hats. He's getting gear from people. It's unbelievable. Mouth, I mean, are you going to be attending that game?
That is correct. Me and my man Alfred, we're going to be at that game.
So everybody look for my man Brent with the mouth, with his coaches in the mouth gear on. He'll be out there sporting and getting ready to go. Well, let's go ahead and bring on our last guest here. He's going to talk a little NFL and college football. Might talk a little bowl games, which we'll talk about that a little bit later on. Probably have a big feature on that. Everybody picking their bowl games. Let's go ahead and bring on Mr. Triple Crown Derek. And let's bring on our BSN guest, Mr. Triple Crown. Man, Derek, we missed you last week. You've been out traveling, all the college football games. The Oregon Ducks, Coach Ultimate and them went down against Washington. It was tough to watch. Washington, you nailed it. They've been rolling. Michigan, do we really consider that a championship game in Iowa? I mean, they could have played. They could have played for 5 hours. They wouldn't have scored, 10 points.
The over-under you could have got them on the half, and I don't know why I didn't get all over this, which I mean, obviously it worked, was over a half a point for Iowa on each half, right? And so it's like, I mean, you're betting that they aren't going to score, and they didn't. I mean,
I felt pretty confident they wouldn't score. I ain't seen. I've watched them a couple of times, probably 2 hours worth all season. I've never seen them cross the goal line ever, and they usually going backwards.
Score. That's what I was worried about.
They're unbelievable on defense. I mean, hell, that guy had to fire his son in the middle of the year. It's bad. Sure, Thanksgiving, Christmas is going to be good after that, man.
Yeah, exactly. So, what I've got here then is, so obviously the college polls are out. Michigan, Washington, Texas, Bama, Florida State, Georgia, as you go down.
Yeah.
And so what I did was real quick, I went and said, okay, let's go do a parlay just based on what we think, right, before the lines start to move and all that. And so I went and I grabbed a 16 parlay. And this is the way I think it's going to play out. Personally, you can go and you can mix match anything you want, but this will pay 30 to 1 the way I'm playing it. Okay. And so first game is Ole Miss and Penn State. And I'll take SEC Ole Miss in the points plus 4.5. I think Ole Miss is pretty hot. Penn State's got a good defense, but Ole Miss moves the ball well. They got an incredible running back and the Judkins guy. And the quarterback, I think they're good. I've been riding them a lot this year. And so I'll take Ole Miss over Penn State just because of the offense. So that's pick 1. Pick 2 is Wisconsin versus LSU. The line's -10. I'm just going to take LSU to win money line. I don't want to give 10 just because LSU's defense is questionable at times. But I will go the money line LSU in that game. Next game is Liberty and at Oregon, or versus Oregon. It ain't at Oregon, but versus Oregon. -16. I'll take Oregon all day. -16. I think Liberty is going to get welcomed to the big leagues real quick with that game. I think Oregon arguably could be. I know nobody's even really talked about them just because of all the records in the top 4, but I think they could be one of the top 4 teams in football. The next game is Florida State and Georgia. And I'll take Georgia all day. they are going to come out and really just their offense will show up, I think, in this game. You got to realize that Georgia lost 27-24 to the team that I think is the hottest team. I think Bama's been the hottest team in football. And so I'll take Georgia minus 14 in that game. I don't think they'll have a problem covering.
Let me throw something at your audience and yourself here. This happened a couple of hours, it's been a while back. Now, this is Alabama. They were coming off 2 back-to-back national championship wins. Boom, they didn't get in the Final Four. And I remember talking to one of their coaches. They were kind of done. And then I believe Utah came in there and smoked them. And so you got to really watch during this time. And you're right. I mean, who's leaving, who's staying, who's not playing and all that. But go ahead.
You're totally right. That could happen with these bowl games, and I think you've got to start watching that. If you haven't bet, like not just that game, any of these games, like who's sitting out, who's not. I was listening to a thing this morning. They're talking about when it goes to 12, that might be like, let's go into the 64 in basketball.
Yeah.
You don't hear guys sitting out in basketball,
no,
right? And so maybe if anything, the 12 will help with that. But then I'll take Georgia minus 14, and then they get to the top 4. Way I see it is I'm going to take Bama in any points I can get. I just think they're going to be in a tight game. And so that game right now, that line's +2 on Oakland anyway it is. And I'll take Bama +2 at Michigan. Now, that's probably the toughest game to pick.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think Michigan go the way. I just don't know if Michigan's been tested outside of Ohio State.
Have not.
They haven't, right? No. That's the way I see it. Bama's coming off a hard win. Bama's quarterback is playing the best football. I mean, they're lucky to get past Auburn, but he's playing the best football I've seen him play all year. And I will take Bama with that amount of time for Saban to get ready. And then obviously Washington, Texas is a no-brainer for me. Washington +4. I think that they're going to romp Texas. I think, as you've been saying, I think Texas is overrated. I think Texas, only reason they're in this conversation is they caught, and y'all been talking about this, I'm sure all week, they caught Bama at the beginning of the year when Bama didn't even know who the quarterback was.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, and so you just nailed it. And they figured, took them 2 weeks. Bama did, and we kept saying, okay, they figured it out. We're going to run the ball and play defense, and we just carried that all the way to the SEC championship game. I mean, that guy's been around a little bit. He knows how to win.
That's exactly right. So those 6 games is 30-1. Right. So, mate, I know not everybody wants to go play 31 in 6 games. Pick 3 of those games out, right? And you're going to get a good 8-1 or 7-1 out of something. So I'm going to play that. I've already got 100 bet on that. So I'm going to do that. So that's going. That's happening. So then let's go to NFL real quick, and then we'll talk a little bit about horses because this is opening weekend of Oakland. So NFL, I had 2 monster parlays working last night with all the thing that had to happen was the Chiefs had to win, beat Green Bay. They can't score. They can't score. I don't know what Braves Chiefs are doing, man, but they can't score right now. But actually, they need some more receivers. I mean, you've got a tight end as your best receiver, so they're killing me. But here's my picks for NFL this week. Houston's at the Jets. I'm going to take them just to win. Houston to win. Jets they're on their 4th quarterback. Houston, I think, they're chasing the Jags, and they're trying to get in through the wild card. So I like the way Houston's playing. The next game is Colts at Bengals. Colts, nobody's talking about the Colts, but they're like 7-5.
Yes, sir.
And the Bengals are falling apart. I think you're going to, the Bengals are running off pieces, essentially. Seahawks at 49ers. There's my team, man. I think the 49ers are the best team in football as long as they stay healthy, and specifically McCaffrey, as long as he stays healthy and you keep Greenlaw from punching bodyguards on the sideline.
The guy, it's just football. It happens,
I know.
And the security guard, he's head of security and all that part of it. But you nailed the 49ers, man. I think Shanahan gets in there before the game, goes, it's a big game, guys need to play this week. And they just destroy people. And you nailed it. They play so violently. If they can stay healthy.
Yeah.
Man,
they got pieces. Hey, how would you like to be in an offense to where if your last resort to throw the ball is George Kittle?
Yeah.
right? He's out there blocking and doing all this other stuff that nobody wants to do. And then last resort, he's open. If you look at Patrick Mahomes and his offense, he's the only resort, and like finding open spots. And he's like, he played quarterback in college and he knows where the open spots are, like Edelman and Cobb and all these guys. So, but it's crazy. I think 49ers are on a hot streak. They're going to knock the Seahawks out. And then the last game, Eagles and Cowboys. I'm taking points. So I'm going to take Eagles all day. I'll take +3 points. That's an 8-1 5-team parlay right there. So Houston money line, Colts money line, Niners money line. Four team. Eagles +3 plays 8-1 because you're playing the +3, and then the Colts is essentially almost a pick 'em. It's like the two point line. So that's what I've got on NFL this week. Big week for me. I got to really start buckling down and studying horses.
Yep. Actually, they're hitting the trumpet over there at Oakland, getting ready right now.
They are. The girl at Oakland comments says, I need more paper. We're out this year. So remember, it's the pink sheet whenever you go. Yeah. I will be putting out I've been slacking a little bit. I've been really busy with work. But on TikTok, I will be putting out every day. I'll be putting out at least one pick. Now, that pick will not be my best bet because my best bet's on my sheet, right? Whenever we have whenever I'm on this show, I will give the best bet of the weekend, and I'll give some exotics, a couple pick fours, some trifectas and exactas, right? Because everybody likes to play those. But haven't got to even study yet. The horses will probably be posted tomorrow, and then I'll get it all knocked out for the whole weekend.
Well, great. Let me ask you this: any jockey trainer combos we need to kind of keep an eye on going into Oakland?
Yeah. My man's Asmussen has always been my man. Yeah. And he kicked Santana out. Like he kicked him out.
I know.
And that really bothered.
Problems.
I don't know what happened there. I think there's some rumors I think I know, but I'd rather not say. But Torres is on fire. I don't care. I think early on you need to watch Torres. Whoever he's on, he's going to get the best trainer and the best horses. And then if Rosario, as he gets there, because it takes him a little bit to get there. Whenever he's on Asmussen's horses, they're live. And then of course you'll get Cox with Flo and things like that. So yeah, we'll start to watch those and follow those trends and help you guys pick out the ones that are the winners. We actually, what I'm looking at right now are the horses that are shipping from tracks that are hot, right? That's the key. I mean, nobody wants to go bet a horse that hasn't ran in months, right? So if you get one of these horses that are hot coming from another track, the other ones their tongue will be hanging out coming down the back stretch, and they just keep running. So it's the key. It's how you make money early in the year.
Well, in Oakland, it's one of the most difficult tracks there is in the nation, one of the best tracks in the nation, and the quality of horses, jockeys, trainers, unbelievable. Well, make sure if you hit Oakland, find the pink sheet, baby. Find the pink sheet. It comes in handy. Trust me, for personal experience, it does come in handy.
Yeah, and I will say this: I've been having some people reach out to me about sports on, hey, how you do this? How you doing that? How you saying where you're moving points? Hey, just message me on TikTok or Instagram, and I'll answer your questions. If anybody has questions, I like answering questions like that. So I like trying to help people. I've had some hecklers on there saying, you can't get that. I'm like, okay, I'm just making this stuff up for fun.
Yeah. Well, I mean, everybody's perfect. You would be working right now if you were perfect at this. I mean, everybody, you're just better than everybody else I know. You know what I mean? Oh, man. Well, Derek, I appreciate you coming on. We'll get into Oakland. Tag us on the stuff. We'll run it on our story on our stuff too. You can check it out on Coaches Pod on our IG and X, and we'll try to retweet it and everybody can get it. But appreciate you coming on, man.
Sounds good. And hey, by the way, one last thing is just because college football's over doesn't mean we're done. I do college basketball. I love it. I've been playing all the time. I got a setup. I've got 4 75-inch TVs behind me.
I like it.
150-inch. So we're about to have Triple Crown sports arena in here, so it's going to be good.
That's what I'm talking about. See, that's a guy getting prepared, getting his group, his people ready, not missing anything like that right there, man. I love it. I love where it's all coming together now and everything.
All right.
Well, we'll see you next week, buddy.
All right. See you guys.
Take care. Man, what information. What a show. I mean, you got state championship games coming on, and then, just bringing these guys on, talking about the coaching changes with Bobby P and Coach Mateos and what they're going to bring to the table. I mean, that's information our audience you just don't get on a daily basis. And, man, what a show. Look forward to next week. Bray, break it down. Unbelievable last week.
Yep.
I mean, followers and
big week.
Subscribers and views. Make sure that you're hitting that subscribe button. Go ahead, Bray, break it down for us.
Subscribes and likes on YouTube is everything. So we're looking for those. That's where we're going to post all of our content. Now, of course, on X, we're under Coaches Pods, our handle. You can find our shows there, but they'll redirect you right to YouTube. So you might as well just go ahead on YouTube and look for us there.
Well, and I'm telling you what, hit that subscribe button. We're excited. We're football's coming to a close in high school, but boy, you got the bowl games. We got the NFL playoffs, and we got some high school basketball and Razorback basketball coming on. So really looking forward to it. Well, this is Coach Jeff Williams, Coach Bray Cook, the Mouth Brent Bender. We'll see you next time.